Hello everyone and welcome to the new rubber duck programming video. I am George and today we will write the code for the FizzBuzz program. The FizzBuzz program is a simple concept actually. You start counting numbers 1, 2, 3 and so on, and every time you reach a multiple of 3, like 3, 6, 9 and 12, you say fizz or our code outputs fizz. When you reach a multiple of 5, you output buzz. And if you reach a multiple of both, like say 15 or 30, you should output FizzBuzz. So let us begin by creating a new Java project. We will write this in Java and I'll call it FizzBuzz. Now the code here is an empty, we have an empty class. Sorry about that. So let's get to it. First, an obvious thing to do is to write a for loop. So for int I from 0, let's say to not 10, let's say 100, or just to give us the proof of concept, let's see up to 20, just in order to see if it's gonna output FizzBuzz at 15. And let's see what we can do about this here. So obviously we're gonna have some if statements. So if I is a multiple of 3, now this testing here checks to see the modulus, the remainder of the division between I and 3, which in the case of 3 could be 3 possible values. It's 0, 1 and 2, where 0 means that I is a multiple of 3. So if the remainder is 0, system out printf fizz. I don't need any other arguments here. So this is the simplest case. Oops, how did I miss that? Let's take out these brackets. So let's get the other case, which I'm too lazy to write again. If it's a multiple of 5, I will output buzz. And if it's a multiple of both, I could try to have this it would be a proper expression, or if I want to see if it's a multiple of both, I could check the remainder of the division between 15, which is 3 times 5. But let's keep to this right now. So the output should be FizzBuzz. Now let's see what happens here. So if it's a multiple of 3, it will output fizz. If it's a multiple of 5, it will output buzz. And if it's a multiple of both, it will output it's gonna go into this part of the if statement, and this part, which is suboptimal. Let's say this is not the requirements of the exercise. It should only output FizzBuzz. So what I can do is take this, put it right in the start as a first statement, have an else statement. So if it's not a multiple of both, if it's a multiple of a single one of them, I'll put something like this. So of course we should check the case when it's a multiple of none, and in that case, if it doesn't go into here or nor here, let's say else and else output the value. Percentage D, and here I'm gonna put the I value. Let's run this and see what happens. So we get here FizzBuzz because it begins from 0. Let's begin from 1. 0 is a multiple of both 3 and I'm not really sure about the strictly mathematical sense, so let's avoid this. We have 1, 2 Fizz for Buzz in 5, Fizz for 6, 7, 8, 9 Fizz, 10 Buzz, Fizz in 12, 13, 14 FizzBuzz. It works. It works correct, but even if it does work correctly, I don't like this code. I don't like this many nested if statements with else, if, and else, and I'm having the same test twice. Let's see if we can do better than that. So let's try a different approach. Instead of having a lot of if statements with else clauses, let's create a temporary variable string. I will call it str and initialize it to an empty string. So if we have a multiple of 3, I will simply add Fizz to the string. If I have a multiple of 5, I will add Buzz to the string. So if I have a multiple of both Fizz will be added and Buzz will be added. So it's quite simple actually. And if it's a multiple of none, I will not run these tests again. Instead I will check whether this string is empty, which means it didn't get into any of these if statements. Therefore, I will assign the value of string format %d, I. And of course, system out printf %string, and of course go to the next line and type the string itself. Does this work right? And yes, indeed it does, and it begins from 0 like we did before, and we can run this to up to 100, and let's see what happens. So in 90 we have a FizzBuzz, and 15, 30, 45 is FizzBuzz, yeah, 41, 42, 43, it works just fine. And I much prefer this approach because it seems much more concise, much more understandable, which is an important thing to do when writing code. You should write understandable code that when you go to look into it 1 or 2 months later, you can still understand it. Or if someone else has to look at your code. Anyway, so this is my approach to writing the FizzBuzz program. Thanks for keeping up with me, and I'll see you next time.